Heaven's Reach has just been released. The map is amazing. I think I'm gonna do like a little vlog kind of video again just to talk about the update because it's just that good and I felt inspired to talk about it. But just to say that in this update, we should get the end of It's the Land's main storyline, which means that the next double banner, which brings a new map, should be update 3.0. Of course, they could release something before then and break their pattern so far, but if they continue following the pattern, the next big update with a new map should be 3.0, which means in December, we'll be getting a whole new nation with tons of new things, new abilities, new miracle outfits, new double banner, new everything, right? It's gonna be new schematic, new mini games, new all of it. The entire game will add tons and tons of new content around that new nation. However, so far, they have not released any new roundtable post, which is a special kind of devlog that they posted last year with the entire roadmap of new features and new planned content for the next following year. So far, we have not gotten a new roundtable. We do not know the names of the next regions in the 3.0 updates. We do not know which new nation we are going for. We don't know anything. We don't even know the next planned optimizations either. They are almost finishing those optimizations that they promised last year. We only have a few more that they promised and we still haven't gotten. And this is what I want to talk about in this video today. Let's have a good look at everything that they promised in the roundtables last year, 16 months I think from the first roundtable, while we wait for a new roundtable which should be posted very soon. I imagine like over the next month or 2 months, they should post the new quote-unquote roadmap of sorts post for the 2027 year. I'm very, very excited about that. I have so many theories about where we are going. I already posted videos with theories for that. I'll post a new one after the 2.8 story ends because we may get some clues and tips on that story. But for today, let's have a look at everything that was promised and not implemented yet. There is really just very few things. First of all is invite NPCs to our home island. This was promised in July of 2025, so over a year ago. They mentioned that not only we would be able to invite animals, but we would also be able to invite our story companions to our home island. But they also suggested that we should have a bond system where we would need to do certain things to raise the bond with those NPCs to then invite them to our home island. And this is something that I'm extremely excited about because they could do so much with this. Not only would be super fun to be able to have your NPCs in your home and make little homes for them, but you could also have other features that they could add. I've been asking for those in every survey just to give some ideas to them in case they're still working on that feature or they haven't started yet. One would be being able to cook for them. We need the cooking ability to be a little bit more useful. Currently, I only use the cooking to make food for my animals in my home. I would love to have more recipes. Like, let me explore Elderwood Forest and find some unique recipes that the shroomlings do. And then let me make those foods to decorate my home and also gift the NPCs. That would be amazing use of the cooking ability and would also incentivize even more exploring of maps that we have been to already in the past, for example. So it could be like the music records, you know, some little floating papers that we can collect and they have like different recipes and things. Would also be really nice if they had their own preferences and favorite foods, which we already seen before in the Hot Pot minigame. I confidently think that Hot Pot minigame was an initial test for the inviting NPCs feature. I really feel like that was the case. Both the building in Italand's ability and the Hot Pot minigame, I feel like they are kind of like them testing the waters and testing the features to implement this invite NPCs. I would also love to be able to ask them to interact with the furniture around our house. So sit down in this chair or use this specific pose, things like that, so we could take better photos with them. That would be really nice. I would also love to be able to change their outfit if they have more than one. So for example, Tanyonyo has his basic default outfit, which we see at Stoneville, but he also has his Once Young Floral Parade dance leader outfit outfit, which is gorgeous, and we can't see it again, but it's modeled and it's there, the files are there. So would be an amazing use for those outfits, would be like letting them equip another outfit. It's an outfit game after all, right? That would make sense. I feel like that's a little bit complicated and not super priority, but would be a really nice to have, would be change their outfits if they have more than one. Let's say you invite Giovanni to your home, and then you can have the John Bunny with his cowboy hat or whatever, and you could also have him with his default outfit, or maybe with the different hairstyle. I would also love hangout quests. So Genshin Impact did hangout quests at the beginning when the game like introduced that. They stopped doing that now, but I used to love the hangout quests. They were not always well written or interesting, but some hangout quests really stand out for me, like Noel's or Thomas. And I really wish they would implement something like that, where you have almost like a little visual novel, or at least elements from visual novels, where you can interact and you have different answers, and then maybe you can get different reactions from the characters with those different answers. That will be so much fun. Maybe going out to certain places in the map with them could be nice as well. And especially being able to use the dual actions with the NPCs would be fantastic, especially for single players, like people who don't like to play co-op. Then you could be, you know, taking photos with the NPCs, especially if you don't have the Goth Bride ability as well, and so on. So I think inviting NPCs would be a whole system on its own, and they could do a lot of detailed things with that would add so much content and would make people like the characters way more, add more depth to the characters as well, especially considering this is a gacha where we don't pull for characters. They kind of like look very surface level at the moment, so implementing a system like this would help us connect to these characters better, so we can learn more about their backgrounds, their likes, their dislikes, and so on. Then they, of course, promised during 1.5 last year, which was also around July, they promised that the Threads of Reunion outfit and storyline / narrative would be reintroduced someday. I think that this is something that we're gonna see for sure, but even more far in the future. I think that overall, when I look at how the story is going right now, they kind of introduced Threads of Reunion and Anna a little bit too early. I feel like they wanted to introduce that part of the story a little bit later, so it gives more mystery and more impact. I still love the original intro more than the new one, of course, like who doesn't? But I do believe that they plan to reintroduce it in the future. They did promise so, but I also do think that we're gonna wait a little longer for that. I have a theory. I'm gonna mention very quickly because I don't want to yap about my theories here, but I already have videos on that. I can link that down below in the pinned comments if you want to watch that. I have a theory that maybe Threads of Reunion could be the miracle outfit that Fred Star from Sitcha is looking for. Sitcha was, you know, the Fred Star base on Sitcha was burnt, and Threads of Reunion is burnt, and they are looking for a miracle outfit that can grant wishes. So maybe Threads of Reunion is a miracle outfit that can grant wishes, and of course it's a legendary miracle outfit related to Nikki. Maybe they heard about the many legends around this outfit, and they decided they wanted that outfit for themselves, so they kept trying to make their own version of the Threads of Reunion, like a fake version, which is the forbidden outfit. Or maybe they were trying to acquire that outfit somehow to use it to grant wishes. So maybe in Sitcha, we could get the reintroduction of Threads of Reunion storyline again. But they need to work on the outfit as well. They need to add the final evolution alternatives, the second evolution rewards. They need to add more patterns for the second evolution, which I think maybe is the red one, and that's why it has like the galaxy pattern on the dress. Maybe the other evolutions don't have that, and that's the second evolution, the red one, because the base is yellow, right? They could maybe change the colors as well. They need to add the glow up. So there is a lot that they have to work on Threads of Reunion before release. And I think that right now, we just learned that they are working on the 2.8 storyline as we speak. We are already on the 2.8. That's insane to me. But anyways, they work really close to the deadline. Very, very rushed. They are probably not even working on that yet, because I do think that's probably going to be mentioned during Sitcha or maybe like 4.0. That's when we're going to be seeing Threads of Reunion. I imagine either 2027 or 2028. But I do think that they will reintroduce it. They did promise it. It's written here. So they have not removed this from their website. It's still there. You can check it at any time. So I really hope that this will be reintroduced. But I wanted to include here because this is one of the big things that they promised and we haven't seen yet. but I do think that it's going to take a little longer until we see it. Then we have the proper wardrobe organization. They mentioned that they would group all of the evolutions together. They kind of improved this a little bit. They made that quality filter kind of like list every evolution one after another, but they are not properly grouped. We need a proper grouping for the wardrobe for the evolutions. An idea that I thought that they could reutilize is maybe using the little filter toggle that we have for the dye system. They could add a new toggle there where you can select the evolution instead, and then you can just, navigate between these two toggles. You first select the evolution, then you select the dice, and then you can kind of like change that, or any other way. This would be just like a quick fix, but I think that they just need to group up all of the evolutions. Maybe we press and hold, maybe there is another button like change evolution, whatever. They need to group all of them so we can, reduce the amount of stuff on the wardrobe, because now it's been a while. We have so many pieces of so many things. We have lots of pieces that are not connected to outfits. It's so hard to navigate. I have been feeling like I don't want to style that much anymore, because honestly, it feels like an effort to find all of the pieces. I end up just using recent pieces instead because I can't remember everything, and it's really annoying to navigate. Another amazing suggestion that I wanted to introduce here that I've also been asking on the surveys. I'll also link my survey docs if you want. Feel free to use my Google Docs. You can even copy and paste if you want, but you can use it as a reference for when you're filling your survey. This, I think, was suggested by Geek Pony, I think. I'm sorry if I got this wrong, but someone suggested on my stream that we should have silhouette filters. And this is so clever, because imagine you could just filter out every single short socks, every single puffy skirt, every single puffy dress, every single dress with a slit, if we could filter per silhouette, that would be so incredibly helpful. Would be difficult because they would need to retag every single item, and we have thousands of items in the game currently. But that would be like a massive optimization that doesn't matter how many pieces we have in the future. This would forever help us. So maybe they could do something along these lines. I think that that's hard to implement, but that would also be life-changing for the wardrobe organization. But what matters is that they promised they would group them together, and they have not done that. They do list them one after another, but I don't think that that's grouping enough. They should definitely need to work on this a little bit further. Then we have the Miracle Outfits Final Evolution Alternatives. This was promised exactly 12 months ago, and only now we're getting this. We're finally gonna get on the second half of update 2.8 the Miracle Outfit Alrosa and Miracle Outfit Silvergale Final Evolution Alternatives. For the Sea of Stars Miracle Outfit, it's going to be on the second half of update 2.9, not this update, the next one. But they're finally implementing this, so this was certainly lower priority than the other optimizations that we got, and I fully agree with the prioritization order that they are going for. I feel like they are tackling the more important stuff first overall. Not always, but most of the time. I feel like they prioritize correctly, adding the pieces to the dice system, adding the handheld. I feel like that's more important than the Miracle Outfits Final Evolution. But anyways, these are also two things that are being finished right now that I wanted to mention quickly. The 3 and 5 star pieces being added to the dice system. That was promised over a year ago, and the 5 star with glow ups as well. This was promised so long ago, and we're still not finished. We still missing the Schematic and Wishfield pieces and some things like that, some deep echoes as well. So they're still working on that. Every single update, we get new and new pieces being added to the dice system. So this is something that is easy to forget, but it's always there. It's extra work that they are doing every single update. They're still adding these pieces to the dice system. I always cover them on my shorts and my Twitter posts, by the way, if you need an update of that. And another thing that they are still working on is the handhelds. Thankfully for the handhelds, we're just missing a few now. I think in a couple reruns, we are done. We are missing Pastoral Dance, the Vampire Umbrella, and just a few others. So I feel like this will be finished by the end of this year. So they're gonna free up some space there. But again, it's more stuff that they're working on every single update. There is a lot being worked on, and I think from all of the things that they promised, they have delivered in most of them. And these are the main ones that they promised that they haven't yet, but I think that we should be hearing from some of them very soon, maybe in 3.0. And for Present Reunion, I think that will be a little bit later. So I think I checked many posts. I think I haven't missed anything, but if you remember of anything that was promised, missed that they didn't do yet, please let me know down below. And please tell me what you would love for them to tackle next. Like, what do you think is a really big priority that they haven't really mentioned or done yet? Thank you so much for watching, and thank you to all of the members and patrons who support the channel and make these videos possible. And see you on the next one.
Ryan Little.
Listen.